Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Earlier in the week, Fantasy Flight released the spoiler for the Maz Kanata card, and a lot of people have been theory crafting into possible decks you can build around her, and a lot of people have kind of settled in on Poe Dameron. So, Poe Dameron is 18 points at Elite, so he doesn't pair with a whole lot of other characters. With this, you can pair him with the Elite version of Maz Kanata, and Maz Kanata is very cool because after you activate her, you can resolve up to two of your dice. So your first turn is maybe going to be to get to roll out Poe. Your second turn is going to be roll out Maz, and then you can immediately, let's say you rolled both of Poe's dice and they both landed on damage, you can resolve both of those damage right away. So the deck plays very fast with damage because you're able to um, essentially on your second turn resolve up to two dice if you roll out Maz second. We're also running the Starship Graveyard to get some stuff out of our discard pile if we happen to get it there, so we can discard a gun, use to do a reroll, play in the battlefield, and get that gun back, or other stuff. So mostly equipment, but we can also get some of our supports back. So we are running two Holdout Blasters. Again, two resources, one range damage, two range damage for a resource, plus two range damage, shield, a resource. Has ambush, so you can take an immediate second action after you play it, and it also has redeploy. So once the character that has it is defeated, you move it to another character. So possible turn one setup is get the holdout blaster on Poe. With ambush, you're gonna roll Poe out, and your next turn roll out Maz Kanata, and then resolve two dice. We also have two D817 blaster pistols, one resource, one range damage, two range damage for a resource, plus two range damage, a shield, and two blanks. Very good card to get out early. You can always override it later, but you might be able to put this on if you don't have a holdout blaster in your opening hand. This is a good card to put on Poe right away as well. You have two DL44 heavy blasters, three resources, three damage for a resource, plus two range, one resource. It has ambush, so you can take an immediate action after you play it. And after you play it, you can force an opponent to choose and remove one of their dice. So let's say you throw this on Maz, you get to then take an ambush action to roll out Maz, and you can use her ability to resolve up to two dice, which may be the DL44 Blaster, maybe both her dice, things like that. Her dice are also very good at like focusing, so you can focus into other stuff. We have two IQA 11 blaster rifles, three resources, three range damage, disrupt, resource, special, and a blank, and deal two unblockable damage to a character as a special. So if you play the DH17 blaster early, you can then overwrite it with this. Also, some very good damage sides. So essentially has three damage sides at 2 plus 3 and the special. We're running two thermal detonators. You have to spot a yellow character to be able to use it, so Maz still has to be alive. So three resources, has a discard side, two discard side, a resource side, a special side at the cost of a resource. And the special is deal three damage to each of an opponent's characters and discard that card. And finally, we have one second chance. This is to keep Maz alive a little bit longer. Three resources, yellow character only. Before that character is defeated, instead you discard this and heal 5 damage from that character. So we can get second chance back from our discard pile, as well as any number of these weapons if we happen to discard them. We're going to move into our events. So first up, we're running two Daring Escape, just two resources. Has ambush, so you can take another action after it. You reroll any number of an opponent's dice, then remove all of their dice showing blanks. Pretty much all the events, with the exception of maybe a couple in this deck, are about mitigating damage and dice control. So this is dice control. We have draw attention. It's zero resources, and it's move up to 2 damage from one character to another, and it ignores shields. So if Maz has a bunch of damage on her, you can use this to pull some of that damage over to Poe. Poe has much more health than Maz. Maz has 8. Poe has 12. We have two hit and run. Zero resources. Has ambush, so you can take an immediate action after you do it, and you can activate one of your red characters. So let's say you have, let's say a second round. Let's say Poe's got a holdout in a D817. You can play hit and run, roll out Poe, get an immediate second action to roll out Maz, and then use her ability. You have two field medics. Just one resource, heal 2 damage from a character. You're going to be healing damage pretty much off of Maz to keep her alive longer so you can use her resolve ability. You have one block, 2 resources, remove all the opponent's dice showing melee damage. We're also running 2 dodge, does the same thing, 2 resources, remove all the opponent's dice showing range damage. Into the other parts of the events, we have 2 shoot first. 1 resource has ambush, so you can take an immediate action after you do it. Resolve one of your yellow dice showing range damage, then remove an opponent's die showing range damage. So you can, let's say you have your DL44 out, you could play shoot first, resolve that die, remove one of their dies. It has ambush, so you can then roll Maz, and if there's any Poe dice left in the pool, you can go ahead and resolve them, or resolve up to 2 of them, or her own dice. We have 1 let the Wookiee win, 1 resource. Force an opponent to either choose to deal 2 damage to one of their exhausted characters, or remove 2 of their dice. We have 2 Electroshock, 1 resource. Spot a yellow character to remove a die showing a value 2 or lower. So Maz has to be alive to use this, but a very good dice removal card. We have 2 defensive position, 1 resource. Play only if you control the battlefield. Remove all the opponent's dice showing a value of 2 or higher. And our final card is we have 2 dug in, 1 resource. You can only play it if you control the battlefield. Give 3 shields to your characters distributed as you wish. So you can shield up Maz so she has more survivability and things like that. At the time of this video, I don't think Salvo is included in the Tabletop Simulator cards. So when Salvo comes out, which I did a video on yesterday, I would probably remove either maybe a Daring Ambush and maybe a Let the Wookiee Win, or just remove both Daring Ambushes to put in Salvo, which says resolve one of your dice showing range damage, and then it costs 2 resources, and then it hits everything for that range damage. So we had Salvo out with Poe. Let's say we roll both Poe dice. Let's just say it's only 2 Poe dice at the moment and no upgrades. Let's say I roll Poe's 3 damage side on each. And then let's say I roll out Maz Kanata with her damage side and a shield. So I could go ahead and resolve, with Maz's ability, I can resolve 1 of the range damage and 1 of Poe's range damage to say hit for 4 if I have a resource to pay for it. And then the next turn, if I have resources, I can play Salvo and use that to hit each of the opponent's characters for 3 damage. So this deck, it's pretty much very, very fast damage, and you're going to be probably claiming the battlefield pretty much the entire game, because Maz's ability will let you essentially just resolve dice right away instead of having to wait for them. So you're going to probably run out of actions sooner than your opponent will, so you'll be able to clear the battlefield quite often, which will then allow you to use these battlefield-specific events like defensive position and dug in to further remove dice or give shields. And then the rest of it, like I said, is all mitigation. So mitigation and removal. So that's dice removal, damage, mitigation and moving damage around, damage mitigation, dice removal, and damage mitigation at the same time, because you're removing dice that they could resolve against you with block and dodge. Another dice removal card, we have shoot first, because you resolve 1 of your dice to remove 1 of their range damage dice. This could also remove dice and do damage. Electroshock, same thing, removes dice, and also potentially for dug in, you basically just shield Maz, or if Maz has a shield already, you can shield Poe up as well, and just prevent even more damage. So that is the deck. I'll have a link in the description to where you can check out the deck list. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.